Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear listeners, you're watching News and Views with me, Aisha Kaji, your guest host for this week. It's my last day here, and we're almost at the end of the show. With that, we cross now to Fired Up with Ashraf Gangrekar, and I believe our topic today is connectedness. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Wa
barakatuh.
alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear Aisha, and to the viewers and listenership of Salam Media. How are you, Aisha?
Alhamdulillah, feeling very connected to my creator today. Alhamdulillah, on this beautiful
Oh,
Jum'ah.
mashallah, and Juma Mubarak to you. Then you're on a great wicket. That's the end of the show. Take care. See you. Not quite.
Jummah Mubarak to you as well and
And
to all
thank
the
you so much,
listeners.
Aisha. Bismillah. So I thought about this, you see, because last week, Saturday, and I mean this in my own home, the wife invited half the world to come and iftar at our place, and it was great, right? So friends and some
Alhamdulillah.
obviously family, and then some friends as well. Then a young man, somebody who I've watched grown up in front of me, comes to the table, and we, after Maghrib Salah, we had broken our fast with the dates in the water. And he's coming, looking at his phone, and he sits down, and his phone is on the table, and he's dishing. And I looked at him and I mentioned his name and I said, no, no, phones are not allowed at the table. And this is when I thought, you see, my thoughts, these are just my thoughts and, ramblings, and I share that with your listeners. And I thought to myself, Ramadan, connectedness to Allah, as you just mentioned, consciousness of Allah, that is the purpose. But how connected are we to our brothers and sisters and friends and everybody else on earth, in the world, as it were? So, how are we connected to family? How are we connected to neighbors? You see, as special as Ramadan is, it is a time for family. And now I'm saying to you, Aisha, I know that there are members in a family, in a household, who are surrounded by people and still feel alone. Then I think of widows, abused, divorced women who are facing perhaps a first Ramadan alone, an elderly person alone. And you see, a text is not going to cut this. At the very least, a phone call. And so, unless we connect to each other, I'm wondering how we connect to Allah. And I see this in the mosque. One goes to Taraweeh or Isha Salah, Maghrib Salah, the Adhan is done. We all know it's an important time of dua. You'll see of the brothers sitting with their phone. Now, it's possible, I know some of them might be reading Quran, but I know there are a lot of men, or, I obviously only said in the men section, who are simply going through WhatsApp or they're checking what's on you. So, my challenge to everybody today is, and we must try this weekend, turn off the notifications in terms of this is what's happening on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, any other notifications you have, or any news media for that point, maybe apart from Salam media, of course, Aisha, but you turn that off. And then as you connect to Allah, could think of people that perhaps you haven't spoken to in a while,
Mhm.
because that person could be needing your hello. That person could be needing for you to listen to them. I spoke in my very first little thing about empathy, where you don't try to just feel sorry or just say, well, okay, no, great, I'm sorry to hear about this loss. But you
Yes.
say, I am here for you if there's anything that you need, because you put that yourself in that person's shoes. So, my point with this connectedness, reach out and connect, not virtually, not with your virtual friends who don't even know that you really exist, or they certainly don't know what you're going through. Reach out to real people who care about you, and you will care about them. And when human hearts connect with each other, then it's easy for the heart of the human to connect with the one who created the heart.
Alhamdulillah. When human hearts connect with each other, it's easier for us to connect with the one who created our heart, our soul. Subhanallah. Brother Ashraf, thank you so much for that. I must tell you that when you were talking, you brought me a memory of my late mother.
Sure.
She kept in touch with family and friends far and wide, even flung around the globe before the days of internet and
Sure.
long phone conversations on WhatsApp and other cheap media, she would write letters religiously to
Sure.
people everywhere, send cards, write letters. But in Ramadan, especially, she had this habit of phoning at least once during Ramadan or visiting if they were nearby. And we didn't have a car when I was growing up. My dad died when
Sure.
I was a year old. So we'd go
Right.
by bus, sometimes take two buses to get to people that she said were particularly vulnerable to loneliness in Ramadan. As
Sure.
you mentioned, the elderly, the divorced, the orphaned, the very young who don't have others to connect to. She had a special place in her heart for young people and babies
Yes.
and people with young families, and also single women. And I find, I'm thinking of that because I live on my own now here in
Right.
Johannesburg. Most of my family are in Durban. I have some family here, and Alhamdulillah, lots of friends. But I think it was such a beautiful message from you. Connect with other people, reach out and connect so that the one who connects, so that we may connect better with the one who created our hearts and souls and increase that connectedness in our own lives, inshallah.
Inshallah, thank you. That is such a beautiful endorsement because it brings to mind when one of the rights of parents, Aisha, is that you must continue to have relations with their friends. And in Cape Town, there's a stunningly wonderful tradition that I fear is starting to diminish, where we make these little, say, sweet treats, kusistas and bolas, etc.
Mhm.
And young children, they are tasked just before iftar that you must
Yes.
take this to the neighbor next door, down the road, etc. And I fear it is starting to diminish that, it's okay, we don't need to do this really anymore. It's an old tradition. But as you said, people of your mother's ilk, and in that era, it
Mhm.
defined family and community. And so your mom sounds like a matriarch simply because she reached out. Now, I'm
Absolutely.
asking particularly young people, man, do that. Don't send a WhatsApp message. It's okay, I can live with a WhatsApp call. Just to find out, how are you? Do you need anything? I was thinking of you because I'm one of these people who believes that thinking of you, thinking of somebody can be dua as well. Because when you
That's
think,
right.
and in Ramadan, Allah make it easy for them, accept their du'as, etc.
Ameen.
If
Ameen.
we don't do this, we're creating a generation that I maybe will want to speak about next week that quite honestly are detached and removed from their hearts and their emotions. But that's for
Dis-
next week, inshallah. Have a wonderful
Disconnected,
weekend,
yes.
Aisha. Sorry.
You
And look after yourself. We'll speak soon. If Allah wills.
Inshallah wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That is a great note to end on. Thank you, Ashraf. A wonderful weekend to you and a wonderful remainder of Ramadan because this is my last day here on this
Oh,
guest
no,
hosting
man.
for, for Salam Media. So I do wish you everything of the best and your family for the rest of
Ameen.
Ramadan. May you have a next few weeks filled with afia and nur and the
Ameen.
special
Ameen.
peace of Ramadan, inshallah.
Ameen. And even more and better for you. Aisha, I want to thank you for being just a wonderful hostess, for being as engaging as you are, and your professionalism, quite honestly, just speaks to the person that you are. I wish you everything of the best of this world and the next. And I hope our paths cross soon again. I look forward
In
to it immensely. Thank you so much,
inshallah,
Aisha. Take care. Wa
inshallah.
alaikum salam
Afwan.
wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And with that, dear listeners, we round up the show for today and my week here as a guest host. It's been an honor and a privilege to speak with you all in your homes. I'm so happy that you have let me into your homes. I ask that you remember me in your noble du'as. I have a very, very strong desire to make Hajj, inshallah. You can hear the emotion in my voice when I say that. So please include that dua for me in your du'as. And I include in my du'as for all of you that Allah keep you all safe and well and in afia for the rest of Ramadan and beyond. I've had the honor and privilege of speaking to some wonderful guests this week. Among them, not exclusively, but among them, just today, Mansoor Shuman, uh, journalist and writer Zukiswa Warner, visual artist Muhammad Abla, uh, writer and activist Susan Abul Hawa, celebrity chef Sami Tamimi, writer of the Palestine Lab Anthony Loewenstein, people from South African Jewish Friends for Palestine, South African Jews for Palestine, sorry, people from a variety of organizations, and not least the many Palestinians, particularly in the West Bank, who gave us of their time so generously this week. Badia Dwaik, we spoke to today. We spoke to Dr. Nufuz the other day. We spoke to Dr. Khalid Dawas. We spoke on the very first day to my dear sister Farehan in the West Bank. And all of these people making so many attempts to ensure that our week of Palestine focus here is well received by you, the listeners and viewers. So thank you to them all. Thank you to you all. And not least, thank you to the fantastic team here at Salam Media who has been supporting me throughout this week. I'd like to mention them if you'll bear with me. Starting with Brother Hassan Ponti. He is the CEO of Salam Media. And then we have Brother Abdul Salam, who is our technical person here in the studio, the producer Nasreen Naidu, and of course, Selailo, sorry. Um, all of them I could not have done without this week. And I've been saying to them, I think we need two of each of you to really move this along. But Alhamdulillah, they've worked unwaveringly with such commitment and dedication to bring you this program, to assist me in being your guest host for this week. I thank them all, and may Allah reward them all abundantly, reward you all abundantly for allowing me into your homes. It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege. It's been an honor. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.